What's up guys, welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/TalesOfNeckbeards. This story's called, Don't Want to Accept Rejection? Okay, I'll just give you a reason to hate me. Obligatory mobile blah. Also, I don't know if this story fits here, but do tell me where you think this story is more suitable in. I'll also post this on ours at Petty Revenge. I'm from Hong Kong, so apologies if the grammar's wrong. This story will be pretty long, so TLDR at the bottom. So backstory. Am 18, just started college and took up German as an elective. Same elective that our beloved Neckbeard took up. This Neckbeard, Alex, isn't really a neckbeard, more of a creep, apart from the god-awful acne on his face and powerful body odor. Alex, as well as I, study hospitality management. During the first week of classes, I was pretty shy and timid and didn't sit next to anyone because I didn't know anyone. But one day, Alex comes up to me and asks, "Hey beautiful." This comment isn't really off-putting as people in Hong Kong say this often in a joking manner as a greeting. "Is this seat taken?" I smiled and said no and that he could be seated. Class was boring that day and he'd chat with me whenever he could. Honestly, at the time, I didn't mind because I thought he was being friendly. As the weeks progressed, whenever we had classes, which was every weekday, he would almost always sit next to me, and our classmates have started to notice it as well. Some classmates who eventually became my friends told me that it was very obvious that he had a crush on me. After hearing this, I started to take note of what Alex does when in class. One time, I wore a crop top to school. One thing to note is that I have a navel piercing and a tattoo along my rib and waist. In class, I raised my hand to ask a question to the lecturer, which caused my top to ride up a bit. Buddy Alex here was not hiding the fact that he was ogling me up and down. Other than those instances, I've caught him taking pictures of me while I was napping, one where I was up an escalator with a pencil skirt on. Also during group presentations, since we study hospitality management, one of our lecturers prefer us wearing professional attire, meaning blazer, pencil skirt, stockings, blah blah, because it's more professional. I bring up stockings because while waiting for our group to present, Alex sees me rubbing my thigh. One, because they were cold, and two, because I like the feeling of my hands rubbing against the stocking. Alex asks why I was doing that, so I explained. Big mistake. He then proceeds to shamelessly ask if he could rub my thigh. I was so shocked, I just shut up and waited for our turn to present. In the middle of the semester, it was very clear that he liked me, but it was also very clear that I don't reciprocate his feelings. I've told him that I only see him as a friend and that I am more comfortable with us being just friends. Mother doesn't process the thoughts in his brain and still continued to prey on me. At that point, I was tired of his antics. He'd call me to ask what our assignments were when our class group chat clearly already said what it was. At the same time, I was fooling around on Tinder and chatted with a guy on the app. We talked here and there and I mentioned how Alex kept pestering me and how my college is pretty spacious and cool. The guy, we'll call him Carl. While interested in visiting me at my school, he was also willing to help me get rid of Alex by pretending to be my boyfriend. So the day comes when Carl visits me at school. I introduce Carl with my friends and we ate together at the usual spot where we eat our lunch. Alex comes over with a smile as he spots me, but it quickly disappeared when he sees Carl next to me, us bumping shoulders jokingly. For the rest of the lunch period, Alex remained sulky and left me alone that day, and that day only. In comes the announcement of our last group assignment before semester break. Alex kept begging me to have him in my group, one, because the whole assignment had to be in English, a language that he was absolute crap in, and two, because I was fluent in English. I was pretty reluctant because last time we were grouped together, I did 80% of the work and he did things very last minute, or not even doing things at all. But still, like the pushover I am, I took him in. Result? I asked in the group chat to give me a time of day that we are all free and to respond before a certain day or else I'll be switching to another group. Sure enough, the chat was completely silent. Dipped out of the group and I was sure this made Alex mad. Not only could he not depend on me and a free ride through the assignment, but also when the day came for us to do the assignment presentation, I was looking through the classroom door to watch his new group, I'm surprised they even took him in, present. He saw me glancing at their PowerPoint and flipped me off. Don't know what his deal was, but okay. We saw each other a couple of times after that, but he was absolutely silent around me and my friend. Think I finally got rid of him. Yay. But too bad he doesn't want to talk to me. I could have reminded him that his German written assignment was way overdue. Guess he'll have to fail. P.S. Me and Carl are now dating. I think this is what set Alex off. What the heck, man? She should have given him a chance. He just wanted to rub her thigh to make her feel good, man. That's true love, man. Never give nice guys a chance, man. This story's called Basement Dweller Tries to Touch Me. Alright, I'm very new to Reddit. That's ironic. So please excuse me for the formatting as I have never posted before. Here's the cast. There's me, a 17-year-old female, and let's call him Basement Dweller. 19-year-old male. So a bit of backstory. This actually happened yesterday, so this should be nearly word for word. I've known this guy for around a year, but I've never met him in person as he was a friend of my ex's that we used to play Xbox with. In the morning, I had been posting on my Snapchat as I'm somewhat of an Instagram and Snapchat influencer. I constantly post my animals and cute outfits of mine while keeping in touch with as many people I can respond to. Basement Dweller has been messaging me about my animals, which I normally respond to easily, and just respond with a thank you, which then Basement Dweller began commenting on my other pictures of me. It wouldn't really bother me as many guys do this and I find it flattering, but something felt off. Basement Dweller continuously messaged me for details about what I was doing and protested about me moving to New York soon. Basement Dweller soon asked if we could hang out at my house, which I felt very uncomfortable with. I simply stated, no, Basement Dweller, I have landscapers at my house right now and cannot have you over. Basement Dweller was unhappy but agreed. Continuing to pressure me, I had caved in, drove about 15 minutes away and went to go pick up Basement Dweller. I pulled into a sketchy street in a city where it's known for bad neighborhoods, having to pull over on the side of the road to get him. I sat there wondering if I should simply leave, but then I saw him in my rearview mirror. Basement Dweller was short, had a widow's peak from a receding hairline, and was dressed odd, almost like what maybe a 9-year-old boy would wear. I immediately wanted to leave, but I'm not much of a confrontational person. Basement Dweller got in the car and smelled exactly like a gas station, but I began driving. The small talk began, and Basement Dweller began speaking about relationships to me. It felt very uncomfortable, but then he told me the directions to the park. I drove and parked where we then began walking to the edge. I felt extremely uncomfortable as we reached an area that was placed away from people. I questioned Basement Dweller, "Where are we going?" Responding, Basement Dweller said, "We're just going to the edge of the park." I quickly stopped and we just stood there talking where he put his arm around my shoulder and I just moved away slowly as I'm realizing I think there may be something wrong with him. Californians somewhat are a people to keep to themselves, so this was extremely odd. I mentioned how it's cold and we should go back to my car and he grabs my hand. Wanting it to be over quickly, I walk back to my car with him in tow and get in. Trying not to upset him since I feel like he doesn't have social cues, I didn't want somehow to get yelled at. He placed his arm on my thigh and kept touching my shoulder. I start my car and drive to his house, making up an excuse. I have to go home and cook for my mom since she's expecting me. He kept on begging to go with me, but I continued to insist that I need to go alone. We reach Basement Dweller's home and he sits there. I says he needs to hurry so I can go home. He asks for a hug and I agree just to get him out. Basement Dweller hugged me for the longest time. It felt like ages. He then made me pinky promise to get him in an hour, but I had other plans. As soon as Basement Dweller got out of the car, I sped off. Even though I'm terrified of using my phone while driving, I blocked his number, Snapchat, Instagram, everything. The same night, he proceeded to make fake accounts on Snapchat to message me as well. Well, this is such a long story, but I had to finish it up since I have to go pick up my friend. If anyone wants more details or tells me how to neaten up the story, let me know. It's really sad how easily guys can make girls uncomfortable. Like, you really gotta be aware of your actions, guys. Seriously, holy crap. Do not do crap like this. That is not okay. Like, honestly, stuff like that is enough to make a lot of girls fear for their lives. And, you know, that's not really a good thing, because what they're expecting is, you know, just a nice, fun little hangout time, and then you put your hand on her thigh. What the hell? Don't do stuff like that, man. Okay, in my opinion, girls should be the one to initiate body contact so you know it's okay, because, unless you're 100% for sure, but even then, it's kind of iffy to trust yourself on that unless you're not socially illiterate. And also, if you put your arm around a girl and then a few seconds later you notice that it's no longer around her because of something she did, yeah, don't try again. What the hell? This story's called There Are Neckbeards in Scotland. Hey, my wee cream pies. Oh, God. I'm back again, this time with a story of a neckbeard I encountered while I was visiting my family in glorious Scotland. During the summer of 2019, I was in Scotland visiting my sister who recently got engaged to her boyfriend. To celebrate, we decided to go out that night to a local nightclub. The legal age to drink in the UK is 18 if you didn't know, so don't worry. Trust me, I wasn't. The lights were flashing, music blaring, everybody having fun, and a couple of people being idiots, but all in all, a great night. Anyways, cast again. Me, 19, 5'4", quite curly, beard bait apparently.
Sis, my older sister, 30, my heroine of the night. Smelly, a neckbeard, around early 20s, ridiculously overweight, smelled of moldy cheese Doritos and way too much Lynx body spray.
Got that? Good. Let the tale commence. Me and sis took in turns getting drinks, and eventually it was my turn. When I got up to the bar, I realized I left my purse at the table. I asked the bartender if he could hold on to the drinks for a bit until I get my purse. Then a voice went,
"Allow me, milady."
Smelly arrives wearing a Metallica t-shirt, denim jeans, and dress shoes, with the frickin' fedora. As he got nearer, the smell got stronger. I wanted to throw up so badly. I tell him, "No, you're okay, I'll just be 2 seconds." He insists on paying. Eventually, I give up and say thanks. He then asks,
"Wait, where's my repayment?"
I thought he meant by money, so I said, "I'll pay you back in a bit. My purse is just over there." I pointed to the booth me and my sister were in. Big mistake.
"Not that. I meant a kiss,"
he said with a snarky tone. Mate, what? No, I've already got a boyfriend, but thanks for paying, I guess? I say, confused and wanting to get the hell out of there.
"I don't see him anywhere. He's probably some Chad who cheats on you all the time. I, on the other hand, am a genuine nice guy. You don't deserve that treatment. Come on back to my place and we'll get to know each other, my lady,"
he said as he tipped his fedora. Oh no, you did not just say that about my boyfriend, you chubby truck. Okay, first of all, don't ever talk about my boyfriend like that again. 2, the reason he's not here is because he's back in America. And 3, even if we weren't dating, there is 0 chance we would be together. At all, I said as I was getting pissed off.
"Okay then, freaking bitch. I try to be nice to you, and yet you act like all these other floozies. I doubt you'll ever last long with that Yankee bastard anyway, considering you're miles away from him. And also, leather trousers? What are you, a horse?"
Smelly rants. I was fuming at this point. I live in America, you dumb puck. I'm just visiting my sister, who, by the way, is with me. And who the hell are you to judge what I wear, you freaking fat slob? I shout at him. Just then, sis hears what's going on and walks over.
"Cream Pie 92.
Normally I'd say OP, but that name, man.
"What's wrong? Who's this guy?"
she asked, looking at me and Smelly.
"So you're her sister? Man, I should have known the two of you would be slags. You're just like the spitting image of each other. Ha!"
He scoffed. So you insult my boyfriend, my outfit, and my sister? You're screwed now.
"Excuse me? Slag? Who the hell are you calling a slag, eh?"
Sis roared at him like a lion.
"I was being nice. I paid for her drinks and she wouldn't give me a kiss. She deserves a man like me other than that Yankee Chad of a boyfriend she has."
Smelly ranted with spit flying out every time he says a word.
"Okay, pal, you don't even know her boyfriend and you don't even know her. And she deserves you? No girl deserves to be with a horrible human being like you disgusting freak. And for muck's sake, take that stupid hat off and shower. You stink of crap."
She shouted at him again. He tries to get a word in, but sis keeps telling him, "Not a word," and tells him to step off.
"Fine, whatever. Enjoy getting cheated on, dumb floozy,"
he says, walking away. Sis helps me calm down, and we had a great night together, minus that interaction with Blubberball. After that, we got home, but before we left, we saw Smelly getting dragged out of the club and trying to fight the bouncers. Apparently, he'd been chatting up other girls and ranting at them when he got rejected. When the manager told him to leave, he refused and tried to punch him. He failed and got kicked out. He stumbled off into a taxi, giving everyone the 2 fingers and telling them that he'll sue. Sure, good luck, pal. I did wake up with a hangover the following morning, and that's the end of our glorious encounter. A long one, but a good one. Sorry, I haven't been posting much, college is a bench, but I'll be back with more stories about Scott's spirit soon, my wee cherubs. So until then, bye. Or, I gotta give that story the coveted rating of r/that happened, man. That was a funny one, though. I figured it's about time before we get a fakie in here. I know you guys don't like it when I call a story fake, but she even confirmed it in the comments. Gosh, that's ridiculous. And remember, guys, it's not about the authenticity of the story, it's about how entertaining it was. And that it was entertaining, to say the least. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.